What's up, folks? David Soto Jr. here, and this is the David Soto Jr. podcast. What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 39 of the David Soto Jr. podcast. I am your host, David Soto Jr. Today... So this is what I've been doing. I kind of been writing these articles, and then because they're topics that are like current in what's going on in my mind, I podcast about them. I haven't really been doing that. They've always been like totally separate things. I podcast about one thing, I write my articles about others, but because I've been putting out so much stuff on Medium, things that come to mind, I'm trying to, well, here's the thing. I'm trying to make money on Medium as a writer. I read a story about a woman on Medium, of course, and she showed how much money she's been making. And of course, I follow her and I read her articles, and I'm one of the people who are contributing to her making money. So her article shows how much, let me look up the article. Has screenshots of her payments from March of last year. So March of last year, she made $1.36. That was her first payment. And then the next month, it jumped up to $749. That's just a month from $1 to $749. And then through June, it was over 1,000. September, she hit 2,600. October, she hit 2,900. And for December, she hit 5,000. $5,000 a month from writing. And when I read this article, I'm like, this is what I need. I need to be able to do this. And if you listen to my last podcast, I have been struggling with getting a job, and not because I'm lazy, and that's what I assume everybody thinks. I'm trying not to care what other people think, but I just totally feel like people will look at me and think, oh, look at that piece of shit. He's not working. He's lazy. Like, it's not it. But I don't want to be classified as one of those people who are just, who don't work. Or maybe I do, right? Maybe I do, because I have been that guy who doesn't want to work. Not necessarily not work. I've been that guy who doesn't want to have a job. I hate going to work for someone else. I hate, badass dogs out there barking. I hate getting up every day. I hate the limitations more than anything else. I hate the limitations of working. Meaning, if I have to dedicate 8 hours a day and I make $15, $20, $25, there's a definite amount. Multiply 8 by 25, and that's how much I can make every day, and no more. That's the limit. If I work 2 hours overtime, maybe I can make time and a half or 2.5. Maybe I can get paid for 3 hours in working 2. Not me. That's not me, son. I need to be able to. My time is worth more than $25, $30 an hour, or when I can. Well, here's what happened. Here's what happened just the other day. I woke up, checked my book sales, and I sold Pass Your PT Test. I sold 20 copies of Pass Your PT Test. I already done the work. That's done. I wrote that over about a year's time, and I published it. I made paperback copies so that I can have copies for myself, and I sell the hell out of these paperback copies. I had no intention of even, it's so thin. It's 40 pages, I believe. And I had copies made. I turned it into a paperback very effortlessly so that I could have copies and hand them out and try and make myself a what I tried to make those copies of, stumbling all over the place. I wanted to make those books very expensive business cards. I'm trying to think of it. Dan Miller. Dan Miller says his books just lead to opportunities. Granted, he sells lots of books and makes lots of money, but they don't compare to how much money he makes as a speaker and as a coach. So I took his advice or his idea and had these books printed out so that they would be what I call expensive business cards. And I would hand them out to people like, hey, I wrote this book. I'm a coach, blah, blah, blah. That never happened. But the point I'm making is that those paperbacks sell more than any book I've ever written. People buy them constantly, almost every day. And just yesterday or day before, I saw that somebody bought 20 copies. Now, in the past 6 months, I have sold those books in bulk on 3 different occasions. One time 30, one time 10, and then this time 20. So in just that, waking up in the morning and checking my book sales did not require any effort whatsoever. Selling, let's round about my profit that I make off selling that paperback is around $3. I made $60. It sounds like Uncle Rico when he says, "Well, you're out playing patty cake with your boyfriend, Pedro." Uncle Rico's making $120. He takes a check out of his pocket. $120. So, granted, $60 isn't gonna. It's one trip to the grocery store. Really, it's not anything that I can say I'm really making a living off of. That's why I still have to consider getting a job. But this is where I struggle, right? I and you know who wake up every morning and we spend the day together and we do stuff and we get ready and we work in a nursery. Right now I'm working on a piece of furniture that is mine, but it's a dresser that came with a set that my grandmother bought my mother when she was pregnant with me. Really cool. I don't know how I've managed to hold on to this for so long. I don't even know why I had it as an adult. But back in 1998, I put it in my dad's garage when I moved back to Missouri, and it's been there ever since. It hasn't moved. So when I know it, when we were buying furniture and stuff, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I have this, and it would be super cool to have something that was mine, give it to my son, and use it again. So I'm working on that. I do. We have a really, really good life right now. We have our meals. We work on the nursery. We work on our baby registry. We work just great, and I love it. I had a hard time swallowing there. And when our son comes, I want to be here. Like I don't want to say goodbye to my newborn son and go to work. I want to be here and continue to. I want to feed him and change him and rock him to sleep and do all these things. I want to be some relief to his mother. I want to be here for his mother. I don't want to be gone. But I need to be a provider. I need to make some money so that we can feed him and pay the bills and heat this house. So that's my conflict. When I read this article, I felt like deep down in my bones more than anything that this is what I needed to do. I needed to put material out there, hopefully good material, that people would read and make myself $5,000 a month off Medium. So in this article, the tips that she gives is treat it like a real job. And so that's what I did. The day after I read this article, I made an effort, or maybe the day I read it, I made an effort to publish something on Medium every day. And so I started writing, I started rewriting older articles. Like I have tons of stuff that I put on my website that nobody goes to. So I started rewriting older articles, which it's weird when you look back just a few years as a writer, just a couple of years ago. Like there's some stuff that I wrote really well, and some stuff I'm like, wow, this needs to work. So I'm writing, I'm publishing, I'm rewriting, I'm republishing stuff on Medium, and my goal was to do it every day for January, and I missed a few days. I think I started. Well, this was written on the 4th, so probably around January 5th I started. It's really it took a lot of effort to put something out every day, to even not being creative, even not having to write something new, just republishing stuff every day just takes a lot of time when there's a lot of stuff going on, including job hunting, including everything else I'm trying to do. Everything. I lost my train of thought there. Everything else, I'm trying to think back. What else am I doing? But I have some projects going on. I have some things I put on Etsy. I decided I made this really super cool Dead Sea salt scrub. Like, what do I know about salt scrubs and beauty products? I know nothing, but I know enough about nutrition that I can apply it to stuff I want to put on my body, stuff that I want, who to put on her body. She went out and bought some, and she's like, this stuff works great. I'm like, yeah, well, I could have made that for you. And then when I found out how much she paid for it, I'm like, I am making it for you from now on. Do not buy this stuff. Especially because I don't know the source. Like, because she bought it at craft fair, it's not FDA, blah, 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 all this stuff. The ingredients aren't necessarily listed. So I made and I always wanted to make a salt scrub because I always liked taking baths and I like relaxing. And I know the benefits of soaking in like magnesium rich water. So I took some Dead Sea salt, I took some coconut oil, I took some avocado oil, and took some essential oils for scent flavors that I personally liked or thought I would like. I made a pretty cool salt scrub. And so I don't know. I have just so many things going on. I'm trying so many things to make money, except get a job. Anyways, I think I digressed there a little bit. So I put out probably, I put out probably 25 more articles, including, publications, including poems and some of my excerpts of my memoir, and some of my old fitness articles and nutrition articles. So let's see. Oh, this has it. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I didn't do as good as I thought. I put 16 articles out. I published 16 posts for January. And just the other day, I guess on the 30th or so, I got a message saying that I was going to be paid 10 cents. This was also the same day that I sold 20 books of Pass Your PT Test, which made me $60. But I was more excited for seeing these 10 cents come in as a text message that it's going to be deposited into my account. And I checked, and it was 10 cents was deposited into my account. This to me is a big deal. And granted, what is 10 cents do? Like, I go to and say, hey, I made 10 cents writing as a writer. I made 10 cents. And so she was like, oh, good, that's good. And being somewhat supportive, I don't really feel I suspect that she's like, that's not going to cut it. And it's not going to cut it. but it's a big deal. And I feel really, really good about it. I feel really, really positive. And like, even though it's just a dime, like I'll drop a dime and it'll roll under the counter at Home Depot. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not getting it. Like, I'm 6'7", it's way down there. It's only a dime. I'm not going to get it. Like, but why is this so significant? And I wrote some thoughts down. And one of the things that come to mind is the quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." This is my single step. This 10 cents, if you can visualize it, is me putting my foot forward and taking that first step. Now, without that first step, you can't get to your 1,000-mile destination. Even though it's just one single step, that is a big deal, because now you're in the process. Now I show that myself that I've started it. And if you take these tiny steps, you'll get to where you want to go. Now, for me, I've always thought, and it's kind of a flaw, I've always thought that it's all going to come in one boom. Like, I'll make $1 million, I'll make $500,000. Like, why sell something that you're only going to profit $5 on? I'm going to sell something that I'm going to profit $5,000 on. I've always thought that this big thing is going to happen and my life is going to be awesome. And then I learned what incrementalism is. In all those years while I waited for this big thing to happen, I just did these tiny little itty bitty things. And as years went by, those tiny little itty bitty things added up into results. So if I want to get to a destination, if I want to get to $5,000 a month, I need to make a dime first. And I did it. This is an important 10 cents. Another reason this is a big deal is this is proof that I can make money. Like, proof to myself. Like, I saw this other writer's numbers, and her first month she made $1.36 or whatever I said it was. Like, I haven't even made that. Right? Just last month I had made zero. So there was like, I can see how she progressed in 8 months. And like, okay, well, if I want to do something similar, I need to start making money. I need to show that little tiny figure of income, so that I can take that and multiply it and double it and triple it and quadruple it. I need to get the ball rolling. Can I do it? Now, for months I've been writing on Medium and I've never ever got any kind of notification. And I even stopped looking at my stats to see. I'm tired of seeing $0 next to all of these articles that I published. So it was discouraging for a long time. I kind of gave up on it. This woman's article, and I commented on her post, like, this is the kick in the ass I needed. And not only did that kick in the ass get me going, it worked. I proved to myself that I can make money. Yes, it's just a dime, but again, it's a very, very important dime. It shows that I can do it, and all I need to do is keep going. This push that I did in January to publish as much as I could did not go unrecognized. Now, again, even though it's 10 cents, it's a pat on the back. It's proof that, yes, what you did worked. Keep going. There's been so many times where people are discouraged and want to quit doing whatever they're doing because they're not seeing any results. I feel that this dime, I feel lucky to have this dime. I feel lucky to have this 10 cents because it is reassuring me that what you were doing is working, and keep going and don't stop. So that's what I am going to do. I'm going to keep going, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Like I said, I'm not going to stop until I hit $5,000 a month. But I'm not going to stop then. I need to provide for my family, and I really feel I need to do it as a writer, which is hard because I have 20 plus years of experience in heating, air conditioning, and building trades. I can do very well, but I only have like 3-4 years as a writer experience. I'm not that good at it. And obviously I don't make a lot of money doing it. But I'm not going to stop. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to get his name right, so I'm going to look it up real quick. One more thing that I want to bring up, and I saw on the Screen Actors Guild. And he commented, what is this fool's name? Geoffrey Owens. All right, you remember Geoffrey Owens from The Cosby Show, if you're old enough to ever remember The Cosby Show. He got bullied and shamed on social media because somebody recognized him at Trader Joe's. This fool was working at Trader Joe's, trying to make some money, trying to make that $15 an hour. Inspiration, right? It's a little bit of inspiration. Also, what are their benefits? Like, I have to get some medical benefits. If I can't make a bunch of money, I have to at least take a job that's going to give me some medical benefits for my son. That being said, this fool was at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and they do these little itty-bitty like introductions and sayings, and they all say, "I'm an actor." And so Geoffrey Owens went on there, and he talked about how he got ridiculed about going to work to provide for his family. And he said that he called himself foolish enough to continue to pursue, to do what he loves. And so he had to take a job at Trader Joe's to provide for his family. And that's me. I'm foolish enough to do something that I love, to continue to pursue doing something that I love. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. And I'm setting an example for my son, who will someday who will someday struggle. Maybe he won't. But if he does struggle with wanting to pursue something that goes against popular belief, if he wants to do something that is not that is contrary to what everyone else thinks he should do, I want him to be able to watch this video or listen to this podcast and know that his father was foolish enough to continue to pursue doing something that he loved. That being said, those things that I love are on Amazon.com. I will have a link to my author page. I appreciate it if you click on it and you go and maybe buy one of my books and then read them and then leave a review. Like, I am at a point where not will you buying my book make me rich, but I'm at a point where I need people to buy the book and then leave a review so that it can gain momentum, so that it will get more exposure. Also, I'll have a link to this article, the article I wrote on Medium. I'll have a link to that. So here I am broadcasting, and I don't know if people who listen aren't the same as the people who read, but you got to do what you got to do. And so if you go to Medium and are a member on Medium, if you know a member on Medium, send them my way, send them a link to my article. I'd appreciate that. Also, find me on Twitter at David E. Soto Jr. Find me on Instagram at David E. Soto Jr. The same. It's the same. I hate that my middle initial is in there, but there's some other David Soto Jr. who took it. So I have to be David E. Soto Jr. And other links. There'll be other links. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on about my life, and I hope that it benefits you somehow. I hope that it entertains you somehow. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.